All right, guys, welcome back. This podcast is brought to you by Rocky Boots, but we got Miss Kelsie Jo from Texas. We're going to be talking about an Oklahoma deer. Oh my gosh, like tines for days. But Miss Kelsie Jo, she's with us. Thanks for coming on today, Miss Kelsie.
Of course, I'm happy to be here.
And Miss Kelsie, she's living the life. She's got the most beautiful little girl. I don't want to butcher it because it's spelt unique, but it's a beautiful name. What's your daughter's name?
Hallie Joe.
Hallie Jo. Okay, that's sweet. And then you have a husband, Brett.
Brett.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. My mind is just, I don't know what it is here lately. We just got done talking about this, but my mind is just, I don't know. I can't retain stuff anymore. But anyway, let's get into this. So, Miss Kelsie Jo, tell us a little bit about yourself. You live in Texas now, and then just tell us a little bit about what you do for a living and everything.
Okay, so yeah, I live in Texas now on the Louisiana-Texas border, Caddo Lake. So my husband, my daughter, and I, we live here part of the year during the off season of hunting season. The remainder months, like September through February, we are up in Kansas, Kansas-Oklahoma border, where we run an outfitter. So during that time of year, we are running the entire season hunts. And then during the off time, I'm nursing and selling land in Kansas, working on my Texas license right now. So just a little bit of everything. Being home with my daughter.
That is a lot.
Whatever, whenever.
That is a lot. What's the name of y'all's outfitter?
Old Monterey Outfitters.
Okay. And how many acres y'all have on that?
Actually, we don't have any like private property. We lease out everything.
Oh, okay. And I'm assuming that's the deer in the background that you took. And oh my gosh, it's so pretty. That mount turned out very crazy. And then that one above it, we can't see half the rack, but that's no matter anyway. That's your husband's, and yours is way bigger. So don't worry about his. But no, all jokes, Brett. But anyway, so who got you into hunting, Kelsie?
Well, I started out as a kid going with my dad and my brothers, and then I kind of went here and there, not a whole lot. And then once I graduated high school, I worked at an outdoor store and really got into hunting on my own and just started meeting people that were coming in the store, going to run dogs, deer hunting, duck hunting, all the things. So I just started going out on my own with other people and got my own lease by myself and started deer hunting, shot my first deer that way, and then just grew from there though, and I just continued on, and yeah, so here I am.
And you hunt about a little bit of everything. I've seen you got a pheasant back there. I know you do a lot of upland bird hunting. You do a lot of waterfowl. I think you even have done some catfish noodling. I think back in the day I saw some of that. I can resonate with that for sure.
Yeah.
So you do it all.
Do that, sir.
Yeah, you do it all. And then
it's actually like my one of my favorite things to do. So
yeah.
Other than deer hunting, fishing.
And now it's like, and the reason too I wanted this podcast so bad is because me and her and my wife, we all kind of, to me, I feel like we can compare each other's lives. I mean, like I have a 4-year-old. How old is your daughter?
She turned 2 Saturday.
2, and then we've got a little son. So like we're all at the same age, and getting them in the outdoors, it's just, I don't know. It feels like we can resonate with each other. But anyway, so that's awesome. I mean, that's good to have all of that and be able to do all of that over the states that you are in, and to be able to raise your daughter in that. And that's awesome. But so I guess first let's just get straight into this deer. I mean, that's why we're here. We spent enough time talking, chit chat, but I want to know about this deer. This deer was taken not this past season, but the season before.
Yes.
So Oklahoma deer. But kind of give us the rundown of this. I guess how many acres did you take this on? Was this private?
Basically, got this lease. It's my private lease. My husband got it for me when we moved to Kansas. Since he had all these other leases for the outfitter, I wanted my own. He found it. It was 80 acres, but only about 2 of the acres really had timber on it. So the rest of it is just crops. got it through cameras out there. A few weeks later, started getting this buck on camera. And this was now, let's see, back in 21.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, as soon as I got the ground, though, I found him and I fell in love.
Yeah, I
He
can.
was my, yeah.
Was he as impressive then? Was he? So that
Yeah.
that would have been what, 2 years before you took him, right? 2 or 3 years before you took him.
Yeah.
So, but
I had him on camera for 3 years.
oh well.
On the third year.
Oh, and you saw him and watched him grow over the years.
Yeah.
Mm.
So they aged him out this year about 7.5. When I first saw him on camera, he was still mainframe 10, beautiful. And I actually took a shot at him that year, and I shot over his back, and it was bad. I was shooken up from it.
I can imagine.
I'm so thankful that I missed him and got to let him grow.
So let's talk about it. So let's talk about the story of this. So kind of how's your setup on this deer? Is it, or you have a ladder stand? Is it a box blind? Like, what are you hunting out there?
So I have a lock on. I had 2 different places I was hunting, basically depending on the wind, what time of day, because he literally used my property as a traveling area. Just travel through to bedding, to feed, and then he'd be back. And so it's either late in the evening or early in the morning. I would see him occasionally, but most of the time it was, of course, at nighttime. He was traveling through back to his bedding area. I hardly saw him in the morning time, but since I had Hallie, she was baby, I wasn't getting much hunting in last year, or the year I shot him. So I just took up any opportunity I could to go out there. And I went out, sat one morning, and ended up shooting them.
So it was a short and sweet. So was there any hunts prior? So you was playing mama and having to.
Yeah, no, so the 2 years previous, I hunted almost, I felt like every day, morning and evening, all day. I scouted, I would watch him. I would sit back on the road and I had my binos and I would just glass and watch where he moved, when he moved, and I only went in when the time was right.
Right.
If the wind was right, I tried not to put as much pressure as I could, but I was watching him almost every day, I felt like, during the previous 2 seasons up until I had her.
Yeah.
Once I had Hallie, time was
taken
with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got out there when I could, when I thought the conditions were best, and yeah, I was sitting up on, in a lock-on that I actually had just moved to a new tree to get closer to this drainage ditch.
Yeah.
And that morning, though, I was sitting there. I had a little spike in front of me, just messing around. It was beautiful, though. I remember it like perfect. Just the sun was rising. You could just see the, like, I would say fog.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Just beautiful, just glistening, the sun glistening on everything. And I was watching this buck in front of me, this little spike, just playing around, and I just happened to turn back over my right shoulder, and I just see antlers.
Oh,
I'm like, oh my gosh. And there is a tree line, like he was on the other side of the tree line. And I was like, if he stays in that drainage ditch, like, I'm going to have an opportunity, because he was going back to bed. And I just sat there and wait, and I went ahead, or I stood up. I happened to take my quiver off my bow this morning. I set it up on my hanger. My bow was there. I had turned around, and I was getting in position because I couldn't shoot from the right side. I had to shoot on the left side of this tree. I was going ahead and getting ready. I went to pull my bow off the hanger. I bumped my quiver, and at that point, I was nervous. I could barely feel like I could
breathe. Oh, I know. Oh my gosh, it's like an elephant's on your chest.
Like, yeah, buck fever.
Yes, it's terrible.
I was like, I don't even know if I can draw back right now, what I'm gonna do. And then I was trying not to be loud or anything, because I had this spike still standing under me. Didn't want to spook him, but I turned around, hit the quiver, of course, made a noise. He stopped in his tracks, 30 yards, and honestly, it was like it was a bad thing to do, hitting the quiver, but it was probably the best thing that could have happened to me, because if he would have took a few more steps, he would have been out of my shooting lane, and I would not have had another open window to even attempt a shot at him. So it kind of worked out perfect. I drew back, slung the arrow. I was freaking out because I was like, I hit him, I heard it, and then all of a sudden I see him turn out, and I see blood squirting out.
Oh man,
something ain't right though, where I hit him.
All right, hey, I want to take a quick break right there. I want to talk about Timney triggers. So since 1946, Timney Triggers has been providing hunters with unmatched accuracy through the world's finest triggers. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but whether you're hunting big game, small critters, or something in between, Timney, I promise they have something made for you for whatever you're in target. Each trigger is proudly made in the USA, that's my favorite, and protected under a lifetime warranty. You can find your trigger today at timneytriggers.com. I'll put a link in the description. Please be sure to check them out. But Timney Triggers, made in the USA, doesn't get much better. All right, go ahead.
I ended up hitting him in the femoral artery.
Oh, wow.
I hit a limb out of my tree, which I don't even know how, because, I mean, in the view I had, I couldn't even see his backside. I hit the limb, and it ricocheted and hit his back end. And from there, I was sick. I just lost it.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like, the one opportunity I've like finally had. And yeah.
How many yards? How many yards was the shot?
30 yards.
30-yard shot. And then how what's your poundage you're pulling back?
I think it's like 47 and a half, not a whole lot.
Yeah, and so like inspirational for like you young female hunters. I mean, you've got a mama sitting here pulling a bow back, cranking down on 184 inches is what this deer scored, and then he's slinging air. So it's fine. You made a mistake, had something happen. I mean, it happens to us all. I mean, I did it literally this past season, but on a little bitty young 8-point in South Alabama. So I can only imagine a deer of that caliber. Holy cow! But so you could tell it wasn't a good shot. So what happened? Did you get down, go get the arrow? Did you call your husband?
Yeah, I hung tight, called my husband, because of course I was freaking out bawling. I waited and watched him though, because he did take off trotting, and then he would just bed down, and then would get up, go another like 50 yards, bed down again. I knew he was hurting, but I didn't know really at the time like what I got, if I just got some meat, what I hit. Yeah, so he was bedded down multiple times after that. I just continued to watch him from the stand. I didn't want to get out and try to push him or anything like that. Wait till my husband got there. We waited a few hours. We went to see if we could find blood, what type of blood we could find. Didn't really find much of anything. We did find some little piles where he did lay down. And we ended up calling in a friend of ours that tracks deer for us all the time for our clients, Jerry out of Oklahoma, and he brought his puppy in, and she is great, Marley, a little weenie dog.
Yeah.
And we ended up tracking from there. We waited till the evening though, and I found him right before daylight was up, and turns out he had gone about 200 yards like in a circle, but he was bedded down. He was still alive, so I mean, he wasn't moving from there.
Right.
Of course, finished him, and yeah, it was crazy, and I don't wish that on anyone, on making shots like that and having them suffer all day. I hate it, but also just so thankful that we found them, and
way to stick with it. Yeah, and a dog, I mean, you made the right call there. You waited it out, was patient. Yes. But things happen. I mean, it does not matter who you are. I don't care who you are or what you do. How many times you shoot your bow. I don't care if you're Levi Morgan. I mean, that sucker's zipping them. There's a lot of people who are just good at what they do, but things happen, y'all. I mean, and it just shows you. It does not matter who you are, what poundage you're shooting, what you're doing, how many yards is away. It's going to happen. And you just need to know that and just understand that as a hunter, to do your best to make ethical shots, and then do your best after that. When you do, something does happen, a mistake or whatever, even if it wasn't you, know your best, do your best to make the best judgment call like you did, call your husband, put a plan together, get a dog, do all that you did, and then recover it. But that is awesome. Heck yeah.
Yeah. The crazy thing about it, I know I didn't say this earlier, but I had to share it. We thought he was dead the previous year because the neighbor had shot or had some people out there and had shot him. And so he was shot previously.
With a bow or a rifle?
Rifle.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And after that, we never saw him again until the neighbor found his sheds while farming during the summer. So we knew after that he was alive again. But for the longest time, we thought he was dead and gone.
Man.
And they just never found him. But
how long?
He lived he was a tough guy.
Yeah, and he lived a good life too with that. Yeah, I know you had to. I want to talk a little bit too about how you had it all set up. I guess let's just go ahead and talk about that. So, like, how on y'all's property is it like thicket? Is it? I know you said he was bedding on somebody else, kind of walking through you. So, did you have through the summer were you feeding? Were you anything that you were trying to keep him there, or were y'all just trying to just be that middle property that's cutting him off the whole time? Were y'all putting a lot of feed out, food plots and stuff?
No, so one thing I've been trying to do is to not shoot them over bait, which in Oklahoma we can bait. I do put corn out to just get game pics, basically, something in front of the camera. And from there, I try to just play basically like where they're traveling. Yeah. And so I did have like my camera set up one area, and then I just knew based off of watching them, because if you know Oklahoma and Kansas, most of these places, they are wide open. There is a lot of timber in certain areas, but a lot of the areas are just straight like crops. Yeah. And you can see for miles and miles away. So they don't have a whole lot of coverage to do. So you can watch them and kind of figure them out from afar, and which is totally different from like Texas, where I grew up hunting. So it's just a game changer of what you can do there, and you can actually learn the deer, learn just their habits by watching them. And so that was something that I try to do, and I just
that's awesome.
The wind right played. Yeah, I just always try to take into account what's going on and what they're doing, and I knew where he traveled to and from. Basically, everything was always different in between those moments. I had eyes on him. Almost every sit I hunted, I would have eyes on him. It just wasn't in range for me, or just like on the neighboring properties. But like I said, I could watch from miles away through the binos, because
you can see. Yeah, and that's what I was wondering, how the kind of it was landscape was, because I've been out there in Oklahoma, and you'll be driving and it's thick. It's so thick. I mean, it's like cedar thick, just you can't even walk through it. And then you have those open prairies, is what I say and call, and it's just, you can see forever. Do you remember how long those G2s were? Holy cow, I cannot believe. They've got to be 14 inches.
I want to say, oh my gosh. I need to pull up
the score sheet, but I mean,
because I want to say something was 17, maybe that was his width, 17 inches, and then like 14, 15 for,
I mean, all of his tines, that's what I love about him. He's so symmetrical. But like his tines, everything, his G2, G3, like they're all lengthy, and his main beams just swoop around. That's a dream buck. Then he broke his brow tine off.
Yeah, he broke his brow tine off. This year he did drop. He went from a 10 to a 12 last year, or the previous year, and then he dropped to 11. But I did get the sheds from my neighbors, and I compared them. His G2s and 3s grew. He did have a little claw at that time the year before, and then he got wider, and some more mass. So
Mm-hmm.
he did lose that time, but I mean, he gained in so many other areas.
So, who's got the biggest deer in the house? That's the question.
My husband says it's him because he shot one an inch bigger than mine 2 weeks later.
Well, we'll hear that, Brett. I can see that brow tine was at least 2 inches longer. So I think you got the biggest one. You got the most bone in the house. So that is awesome. Heck yeah, that's a heck of a story. I don't know what else we can kind of really cover on that other than you played it right. I mean, everything about it. I mean, a female, like I said, you know, any hunter, even if it's you're a young boy, young kid, whoever you are, I mean, that should tell you something. She's drawing back only 47 pounds. You said, like, a lot of people's like, oh man, I gotta have 60 pounds to shoot through this. No, you don't.
I'm weak.
Yeah, and at 30 yards,
But it works.
30 yards, she's got penetration. Yeah, it was a poor shot because she hit a limb, but hey, she's got the dang deer behind her, and that's all that matters. So you got your dog, a little weenie dog, pulled through, and that is awesome. Heck of a story. I've been dying to hear this story ever since she laid it down 2 years ago. Well, yeah, 2 years ago now. But thank you so much for sharing it, Kelsie. I can't thank you enough for taking time.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate you reaching out to me.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's just like a dead time right now. There's nothing else to cover. Like we cover these older deer and stuff, but this was one I was like, man, I've got to resurface because it's like too good. I mean, way, way too good. I hope you and your daughter are get her out there and get her on her first one here in the next couple of years because that's coming. Probably when she's 5 or 6, you gonna get her out there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She's already been elk hunting with us, so, I mean.
She's such a little cute thing. She's so cute. Golly.
Got her first bow. Maybe she'll start shooting it.
Man, that is so cute. Well, thank you so much. Thank y'all for watching. That concludes it for another podcast, and hope y'all learned something. Appreciate it, Kelsie.
Yes, sir. Thank you.